Hey everybody, welcome back, and today we are going to be doing, as promised, a review of the Shaaanxo palette. Now this is a new BH Cosmetics collaboration with Shaaanxo, who is one of my favorite YouTubers here on YouTube. Duh. And she has come out with a beautiful palette. This reminds me a lot of her ColourPop collaboration that she came out with a year or two ago. It's very much kind of in this theme, except with maybe some more greens in it. Beautiful palette. You get 9 huge eyeshadow pans, you get a mirror, and then on the other side you get 9 lipstick shades and also a mirror. And you get all of this for $14, I believe is the price on BH Cosmetics right now. I'll link it down below. Now, I actually, if you didn't see my very long get ready with me chit chat video, kind of where have I been situation that I posted a couple of days ago, I did use this palette to create this look, lips, some of the highlight, and all of the eyeshadows. Absolutely love this palette. If you are a warm neutral lover like I am and you are looking for a good, affordable, everyday palette, this is one that I would definitely put on my list to check out. Of course, we don't need every warm neutral palette there is. I have to keep telling myself this, but if this is, you know, kind of your thing, you're gonna like it. So let's get to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off by swatching the lipsticks. Alright, so these are all of the 9 colors swatched out. Beautiful, you get a beautiful variety in here and just a really nice range. And also some that just scream Shan. If you watch her, you know that this color right here, she loves those kind of orangey red colors. Beautiful. But anyway, let's go through them one by one. So the first color we have is this one right here, which is just a really pretty kind of almost a corally, it's more on a corally side of a pink, especially compared to some of the other ones in this palette. That one is, where is that one? That one is this shade right here. It's very light, it's very soft, it's beautiful. Now I have found with these, they do build up well. I'm wearing 3 of them on my lips right now. Matte, they're not shiny. They're almost like a demi satin kind of finish. Really nice finish. They're very comfortable on the lips, but they are very much a traditional lipstick formula. So that is that one right there. And then the next one we have is this really beautiful, bright, kind of hot coral pink. Absolutely gorgeous. That is this shade, ooh, the top shade right here. I'm not doing this very well. That shade right here. And then the next shade is that really, really pretty orange, reddish orange. This one is definitely one of the more pigmented ones. Now some of these, again, can come off very sheer, but they do, I have found that they do build on themselves very well, at least the ones that I've tried out. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't worn all of these shades, but I have kind of played around with them on the lips. Now, the next row, we have this very, very creamy, very intense, very, very pigmented bright pink. Then we have this beautiful mauve shade right here. It's a little bit more of a, on the purpley side, like a purple mauve shade. Very beautiful. Again, it's gonna come off sheer, but it builds really, really well on itself, and it's this one right here. And then the last one we have is that really pretty kind of neutrally color right here. This one I'm actually wearing kind of as a transition between the darkest shade and this really light neutral shade. So this one right here. Now this one is going to come off just a little bit more pinky. It's like a pinky brown neutral. Again, really beautiful. I love this. It's this color right here. Would be an everyday color for me. Beautiful neutral color. Absolutely gorgeous. Right up my alley. It's kind of a your lips but better color on the cool side. It's interesting doing lipstick swatches like this. I have never done this before, so please forgive me. And then we have the last row. This last row, this color right here, I should have swatched all of these, is beautiful. Very highly pigmented, very creamy. A little goes a long way with that one. Again, I'm wearing that one on the inner quarter of the lips with this shade right here blended over it to kind of ombre it out. Then we have this beautiful red right here. Now this one is a little bit more, it comes off, it looks more like an oxblood red, almost like bordering on an oxblood red, but it comes off very strawberry. This one I feel is the most sheer out of all of them. It's almost like a strawberry raspberry type of pinky red. So not anywhere near the color that you're going to see in the pan, but still a really beautiful color. It's going to give you almost that kind of popsicle stained lip effect. Is just looking at it on my hand, it's going to be something very sheer and just give you that kind of stained effect to the lips. And then this color right here, which I love. This one, again, is very creamy, beautiful, everyday nude. It's I feel like this is like the perfect like kind of mix of pink and brown. It's beautiful. I'm wearing it on the center of my lips today. Really, really like this color. As far as the lipsticks go in this palette, I feel that they are very nice for the most part. Again, the only sheer one is going to be this red right here, is the only one that I found does not build on itself, which could be a problem as far as blending it out, using it in combination with other colors, because it'll probably just get lost in the mix. But all of the other ones and the ones I've used, especially this dark one and then these two neutral shades right here, I love, and I love them in combination. They're beautiful. They are just really comfortable. They wear really well. Sorry, I'm looking at them as I'm trying to describe them. But overall, I'm really happy with these. These are a traditional opaque liquid lipstick formula. They're not going to be like, for the most part, what you see is what you get. So really gorgeous, really like those. I think it's a great deal. I think BH Cosmetics has some beautiful lipstick formulas that you don't necessarily hear about, and I really enjoy them. So they're just expanding my opinion of that as far as that side of the palette goes. Now moving on to the side, which if you're like me, you're gonna be really excited about, and those are the shadows. So you get 9 shadows in here. You get 1, 2, 3, 4 mattes, and then you get 5 shimmers. Very, very large pans. You get a lot of product in here, and I feel like when you hear me talk about a complete palette, this is it. I have a matte highlight shade, I have a matte transition shade, and then I have a matte defining shade, crease shade. Forgive me as my eye goes crazy over here. Beautiful shades. Now these are the shades all swatched out. Now I'm going to be completely honest, the matte shades are these 4 right here. So you get a cream highlight shade, which works perfectly for me. I am actually wearing that all over the lid today, all lash to brow bone. Then you get this really pretty, I think I described it as kind of like a mix between a peach and a mustard yellow. Really, really interesting, beautiful shade. Then you get, I'm sorry, this is the other matte. Then you get this really pretty kind of reddish brown matte, which works really well. Both of these work as transition shades. I use this as a transition and this in the crease as a deeper transition. And then you have the deep dark shade. Now this is more of a black and brown that almost hinges on green, which doesn't surprise me coming from her because this is right up her alley. Again, beautiful shades, and I did swatch the mattes twice and the shimmers once just to really give you an idea of the colors. Now, these are going to be some of those shadows that when you swatch them, they're not going to seem very impressive. But the way they perform on the eyes, I am perfectly fine with. They are not, I'm not going to lie, they're not the most blendable buttery mattes I have ever worked with, but they worked just fine. Super happy with any look that I get out of this palette so far. And the mattes, I think for the price, are awesome. Plus you are getting, again, highlight shade, some transition shades, and a deep dark defining shade. So completely happy with that. Now when it comes to the shimmers in the palette, these are gorgeous as well. These are all one swipe. So you get this shade right here, which is a beautiful champagne. It reminds me of Shimma Shimma from Makeup Geek. Beautiful, buttery. I'm actually wearing that on the inner corner of my eyes, underneath the brow bone, and actually as a highlight as well today. So definitely a multi-purpose tool in that palette. Then we have this gorgeous, in the pan it looks, let me look at it in the pan. Oh, wrong side. In the pan, it looks almost like a rosy kind of taupey color, and I would say that's how it comes across. So it does have a cool undertone to it, but it's almost got that kind of rose gold feel to it as well. It's really beautiful. Then we have this beautiful bronzy brown in the middle. And again, the mattes, I mean the shimmers feel buttery, they're gorgeous. One swipe, I mean you're gonna get crazy pigmentation with these. Really, really happy with these. And moving on to the last row, then you get this shade down here, which is like the purple, ooh, let me show you. This is like the purple version of this one. So you can see where this one is in comparison. It seems kind of cool toned on its own, but when you compare it to that purpley taupe shade, it's definitely more on the warm side. And so you've got like kind of rosy gold taupe, and then you've got a kind of purpley grayish taupe. Really, really pretty. I'm actually wearing the purpley grayish taupe on the center of my eye. I'm wearing this one on the inner corner, and then the last shimmer we have is this one right here, which I'm wearing on the outer third of my eye. This is beautiful. This shade right here, this is one of those, it's hard to see on my hand. In the pan you get more of a feel for it. This is one of those shades that's kind of like in the same family as like blue brown pigment and that really pretty kind of duochromatic shade in the Comfort Zone palette. It's kind of like Solstice, except Solstice is more pinky. It's kind of like, what's the other one I'm thinking of? Immortal from Makeup Geek. So it's kind of in that range to where it's overridingly a kind of chocolatey brown, but in the pan and on the eye, depending on what kind of look and what kind of shadows you're using in conjunction with it, it can kind of bring out some blues and some reds and even some greens. So it's one of those really, really interesting shades, and I feel like you get more of a feel of that in the pan where it kind of shifts. Beautiful. I'm always drawn to colors like this. I just think they're gorgeous. So overall, I am really, really extremely happy with this palette. I love the concept. I love the layout. I love that you get your cream products with a mirror. On a separate side, you get your powder products with a mirror, so you're not worrying about transfer. It's compact. It's not super, super thin, but then again, you've got big pans in there. Easy to travel. I mean, it's not going to come fallen open, you know, if I hold it like that it will, but the bottom's not going to come fallen open. I mean, so the magnet's really nice, sturdy, that really pretty pink and white packaging with her logo on it. I'm just really super impressed with the palette, plus it's $14. Now, the part that I really want to talk to you about. There's another collaboration that has been going on that I have the palette, but it's kind of harder to get your hands on. That is the Manny MUA, or I'm sorry, Manny Makeup Geek collaboration. Again, this is a beautiful palette, but I want to do some comparisons. So first off, this palette right here is $45. Can't get your hands on it. This one is $14, and not only do you get 9 eyeshadows like you do in this palette, but you get 9 lipsticks. So it's a third of the price. You're getting double the product. And let's talk about hand size. So again, and I'm not bad talking, please don't think that I'm bad talking the Makeup Geek palette, because I think it's beautiful and I love it. But let's look at, so very similar. This is a more neutral sibling of this palette. So the pans are much bigger. You're still getting a mirror, and you get the lipsticks as well. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch some comparisons of this palette and this palette just to show you how similar they are. All right, so now let's talk about some of the colors that are most similar. Now on the bottom row are the Makeup Geek shadows, and on the top row are the BH Cosmetics shadows. So Makeup Geek on this side, BH Cosmetics on this side. So very, very similar. So let's just go by the shades in the Makeup Geek palette. So this one is Frappe, and this is that burnt red kind of brownie shade in the Shaaanxo palette. So again, this one is more warm and a little bit more vibrant, but very similar looks out of them. This shade right here is, I'm having to go back and forth and look. This shade right here is Luna from the Makeup Geek palette, and this one is this middle shade, or I'm sorry, this really pretty kind of rose gold taupey shade from the Shaaanxo palette. So again, the one from the Makeup Geek palette is more metallic and it's a little bit more cool toned. The one from the BH Cosmetics palette is a little bit more on the pink side and not quite as metallic, but again, very, very similar. Then you have the two matte highlight shades. So again, the BH Cosmetics one I actually prefer because it is actually a highlight shade. This one isn't going to necessarily work for everybody, just like this one isn't going to work for everybody. It's just my preference. So the BH Cosmetics one is a little bit lighter. The one from the Makeup Geek palette is actually Beaches and Cream, which I would expect to be in there because that's one of Manny's favorite shades. So again, just a little bit of a difference. Just wanted to show it to you. And then we have the two highlight shades. So this is the one from the BH Cosmetics palette, which is a little bit more on the champagne side, and the one from Manny is, this one is Artemis, right? And so this one is Artemis, which is a little bit more on the icy side. So again, very, very similar shades in those two palettes. And I'm going to just show you a couple that aren't similar, but you know, we can substitute out just to give you an idea. Alright, so we've just got 3 more shades, and again, this is going to be the Makeup Geek side, and this is the Shaaanxo side. So this shade right here is, I need to look at this. Oh, Insomnia, that's not what it is. Insomnia, not Immortal. So this is Insomnia. So again, when you turn them this way, they're very similar. Now, Insomnia is definitely going to have more of a duochromatic shift and flash than this middle shade on the bottom row from the Shaaanxo palette. But again, very similar, very similar ideas there. So, and if you put a turquoise base under this shadow, it's probably going to bring out more of that blue. It's just a little bit more of a slight shift. But again, when you turn them this way, they're very similar. Now, from the Makeup Geek shadow palette, you have Aphrodite, which is a very deep blackened plum, and then you have that deep dark kind of blackened brownish green shade. Again, they're not similar colors, they're not the same colors, but on the eye these are going to give a very similar effect to your eye look. So really cool. And then the last comparison I want to make, so not all of these are close or similar, but a lot of them are. The last one I want to talk about is Sora, which is this one right here, which is a really pretty kind of mustardy brown shade. And then we have this shade right here that I used in my transition for my look today from the Shaaanxo palette. So this is that kind of, I think I described it as kind of a mix between a peach and a mustard. So you have that shade, and then you have Sora, which is right here. So again, there are differences in tone, but they're going to give that same effect to the skin. One is just a little bit more orangey, and one is a little bit more kind of creamy peachy. So again, some really cool similarities in this palette. So if you did not get your hands on this palette, I don't even know if this palette is still available. Is it? I don't know. Let me know down below. Or if you're thinking about buying this palette, maybe don't spend the $45 on this palette. And again, don't get me wrong, I love this palette. It is stunning. It's beautiful. I actually wore this in my last 2 top 5 videos that I posted, and I got a really good response from them. Everybody really liked the eye look, so if you want to see a tutorial, I would be happy to do that. So I want to be very clear, I am not hating on this palette. It is a gorgeous palette. It is gorgeous packaging. The quality is beautiful. You get a nice mirror. I mean, absolutely stunning. I have loved the looks that I get out of this palette. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And I love Manny. Manny did such a good job. You can tell the care and the thought that went into this palette. Just from, if you watch his videos and know what he likes, you know that this just screams his name. On the other hand, I'm just going to call it like I see it. Makeup Geek prides themselves on being very affordable, and I understand. And I understand their quality is awesome, and they are a small company, and with that comes some restrictions as far as how accessible you can make the price to everybody. So I don't want you to think that I'm hating on this palette or hating on Makeup Geek. I understand why this palette is $45. But $45 is not a drugstore equivalent price. That is a higher end palette, which is why this is a high-low video. This is what I would consider a high-end palette. It is not a Marc Jacobs level luxury palette, but this is a Urban Decay Too Faced level price for a palette, and you're getting less shadows than you would in one of those palettes. And again, not hating on this company, I'm just calling it like I see it. So if you did not get this palette because it was too expensive or inaccessible because they didn't make that many, I would really consider, and you had your heart set on it, consider this palette. Again, it's a third of the price. You are getting more product, and you're getting the lipsticks as well. And you have just got an amazing set of very similar shadows that are going to get you the same kind of looks that you would get with the Manny MUA palette. So again, love both of these YouTubers. Love. I love both of these palettes. I just wanted to lay it out for you and keep it real. So much love. I am so happy for both Manny and Shanna. I think they're amazing. I am subscribed to them. I love watching their videos. I just need to be honest with you guys and give you my opinion and let you know that if you didn't get this palette, or if it is out of your price range, this one is an awesome lower end alternative. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts on these. Do you have both of these? Or are you thinking about getting these or one of them? Or, you know, I always love to hear what you guys are thinking. But I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see how I got this look and hear me talk a whole bunch, then I will link that video down below. But as always, you guys have an amazing day. Have an awesome week. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.